Hi guys, welcome back from Semana Santa. So our first video today is going to do a little bit of review on what we did before. So what we did before Semana Santa, we learned about the Cartesian plane. And the Cartesian plane is basically a graph with four coordinates. We have an x-axis, we have a y-axis. The right-hand side of the x-axis is positive, the left-hand side is negative. The top half of the y-axis is positive, the bottom half is negative. And the middle point, which is called the origin, is point 0, 0, where in any point, the first value is the x-axis and the second value is the y-axis. So if I have 0.24, what that means is that the value of that point is on the x-axis 2, because that would be the x value, and 4 is the y value. So in order to find that point, we go to 2 on the x-axis, and then we go up to 4 on the y-axis, and that point is 0.24. All right? So we learned how to plot points. Another point that we could have would be point -1, -2. So here again, -1 is the x value, and -2 would be the y value. And if we look at our Cartesian plane, if we go to the left of the origin, then it's going to be negative. So this would be x equals -1. And then if we go below the origin, that's going to make y equal negative. So we go down 2, and that's -2. So -1, -2 is right there. That is point -1, -2. All right? So then we also learn that when we have 2 points, if we connect those 2 points, we create a line. So I'm going to connect that point with that point. Oops. All right. So now, because I have 2 points and I connect those, I now have a line. And we also learn that a line actually has movement. And if you see the angle of this line continues in that direction, and that continues in that direction. This slope or movement, right, or M, that is the angle or the movement of that line, the slope of that line, okay? And we learn that a line going in this direction has a positive slope, and we learn that a line going in this direction is a negative slope. All right? Now, what is slope? Well, slope equals the movement of a line. So therefore, we use the term M for movement of a line to be slope. And we also learned that is the change in the y value, okay? Change in the y value over the change in the x value. And we can also write that, and a change is a subtraction. So we can take the value of y in 0.2 and subtract it from the y value of 0.1, and then on the bottom we take the value of x in 0.2, and we subtract the value of x in 0.1. So it is a change of y over the change of x. Another way to look at slope is rise over run. And the video from Khan Academy went over that with you guys. Okay? So, let me erase some of this stuff. All right, we got positive and negative slope. Here's your points. All right? So, let me take all these out. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what is the slope of this line. Well, we can certainly figure that out because the slope equals the change in y over the change in x. So that also equals the y value of 0.2 subtracted by the y value of 0.1 over the x value of 0.2 minus the x value of 0.1. Okay? Another way to look at that is rise over run. Okay? Where rise is up and down direction, run is side to side direction. All right? So if I have a point, if point 1 is -1, -2, and point 2 is, 2, 4. All right, then we know that x1, the value of x in point 1, x1 is -1. We know that y1 is -2. We know that x2, because that's in point 2, is 2, and y2 is 4. So this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, and that is y2. Because the 2 is from what point it is. That's point 2, right? And this is point 1, so it's x1 and y1. Okay? And remember, in any point, the x value comes first and then the y value. Okay? So we can look at this. Here's our point, here's our point. Okay? We can look at this and we can plug these values into the equation for slope, which is the movement of the line. So what is y2? Well, we go to point 2, we go to the y value, so y2 is 4, minus y1, so let's look, where is y1? Well, we go to point 1, and we look at the y value, which is -2. So we subtract the value of y1, which is -2. All right? And that is all over the value of x2, which is the x value of 0.2, which is 2, minus the value of x in point 1, which is x1. And that would be minus -1. All right? And now all we have to do is add integers. Okay? So this becomes 4. What is a negative times a negative? That's a positive. So that turns that into 4 plus 2 over 2. What's a negative times a negative? That's a positive. So -1 times a -1 is a positive. So it's 2 plus 1. Which also equals 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 plus 1 is 3. Well, what is 3 into 6? 3 into 6 is 2. So our slope, our movement, is 2. Okay? So that's how we find the slope of a line. Now, what we can also do with this, movement, right, also equals rise over run. So a movement or a slope of 2 means that it rises 2 and it goes over 1. It rises 2 over 1 because 2 over 1 equals 2. All right? So what we can do is we can look at our line and we can actually do a rise over run to validate our answer of movement equals 2? Does it rise 1 and then go over 2? Or does it rise 2 and go over 1? Well, let's start at our point of -1, -2. And if I go up, if I rise 2, I go up 1, 2, and then over 1, do I hit a point on that line? Yes, I do. That point is 0, 0. It's the origin. Okay? I can also, from the origin, go up 2, rise 2, 1, 2, and run 1, go over 1. These are both positive. So positive, I go up and to the right. 1, 2, over 1. Well, there's another point on our line. That point is 1, 2. And then I can also go up 2 more, 1, 2, and over 1, right? And we get this point, which is 2, 4. Okay? And I can do that forever. I can go up 2, 1, 2, and over 1. That'd be another point. Right? And if I went up 2, the value of y goes up 2. And if I go over 1, the value of x goes up 1. All right? So that point right there is 3, 6. Okay? So this is just a review of what we went over before, the Cartesian plane, points, connecting points with the line, and looking at the movement of that line. All right? Next section, I'm going to talk about what we learned about intersection points. Okay? So, review that. Make sure you understand points. You need to understand points, lines, slope, or movement of a line. Okay? Need to know that. All right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an assignment. Here's your assignment. I want you to, 1, make a graph for each set of points. 2, plot each point and connect the points with a line. 3, find the slope of the line. Okay? So, for example, here is, I got 1, 1, and I've got 3, -2. That is my set of points. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to make a graph for that set of those set of points. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's -1, -2, -3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to plot those points. So plot each one of these points. So 1, 1 is right here. 3, -2. 3, -2 is right here. All right. I'm going to label my points. And then I'm going to connect those 2 points. Okay? And that is a line that goes on forever. And then I'm going to find the slope. Right? So m equals change in y over change in x So change in y is y2 minus y1. Change in x is x2 minus x1. All right? I'm going to take the first point. This is point number 1. This is point number 2. All right? So point number 1 here is going to be the value of x1. This is going to be the value of y1. This is going to be the value of x2. That's the value of y2. All right? So then I just plug these values into our formula. So that equals y2, negative 2, minus y1, 1. And then we have x2. x2 is 3, minus x1 is 1. So minus 2 minus 1 equals negative 3. 3 minus 1 equals 2. So my slope equals negative 3 over 2. So 3 is my rise, and 2 is my run. Okay? But it's negative. Remember, if the line is going in this direction, it's negative, which our line is going in that direction. Or if your line is going in this direction, it's going to be positive. And you can see that this is a negative slope, and that corresponds to the direction of that line. Okay? So that's what I want you to do, and I'm going to give you a series of points. So the first one is going to be the same one I just did. All right? That's number 1. Number 2, we're going to do 3, 2, and 1, negative 1. 3. We are going to do 2, negative 4, and negative 4, 2. Number 4. We are going to do negative 3, negative 5, and point negative 2, 2. And the last one is going to be point 0, 6 and point 3, 2. All right? So I want you to do these 5 just like I did the previous one. Okay? With these directions. All right? Good luck with it. We'll see you tomorrow.